Hello friends, this is Chandrakant from Akulmac Technologies. Welcome to Top Brass. And I'm very honored and pleased to have our guest today, Mr. Nagesh Sood. Just to introduce briefly, Nagesh is a very senior advocate practicing in Ahmedabad High Court and also a very well-known human rights activist known across India. So we are very honored to have Nagesh. Nagesh, welcome from Ahmedabad.
Hi, CK. Thank you very much. And it's a pleasure being here and talk to you about today's subject. Today, I think we are going to do right to freedom of religion
That is
and the
right.
human rights. Yes.
That is right. And
So,
since we are on the journey of discussing human right, and this is one of the very important right given to Indians. So over to you, Nagesh.
yes. To begin with, CK, I would like to point out that United Nations has recognized the importance of freedom of religion or belief in the 1948 Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Article 18 of UDHR states that everyone shall have the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. This right also includes freedom to have a religion or whatever belief any person wants to have from his or her choice. Similar provisions are found in Article 18 of International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and also in 1981 Declaration on the Elimination of All Forms of Intolerance and of Discrimination based on religion or belief, then 1986 establishment of the Special Rapporteur to identify existing and emerging obstacles to the enjoyment of right to freedom of religion or belief, 1993 Human Rights Committee's Article 18 of Civil and Political Rights, which I've already mentioned. Now, Article 18 of Civil and Political Covenant is widely regarded as one of the most important articles on freedom of religion or belief. It says that everyone shall have the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. This right shall include freedom to have or to adopt a religion or belief of his choice and freedom, either individually or in community with others, and in public or private, to manifest his religion or belief in worship, observance, practice, and teaching. Then it says that no one shall be subject to coercion, which would impair his freedom to have or to adopt a religion or belief of his choice. Further, freedom to manifest one's religion or belief may be subject only to such limitations as are prescribed by law and are necessary to protect 1. Public safety, next, public order, health, or morals, or the fundamental rights and freedoms of others. The state or the government, the states to the parties to this covenant undertake to have respect for the liberty of parents and, when applicable, legal guardians to ensure the religious and moral education of their children in conformity with their own convictions. Now, I would like to point out two quotes, one by George Bernard Shaw, which says that there is only one religion, though there are hundreds versions of it. And the other one is by the Rudolf Otto, which says that religion is that which grows out of and gives expression to experience of the holy in its various aspects. So we know that in human lives, religion plays a very vital role, and it is an integral part which influences the minds of people. Especially in the Indian society, the religion plays an indispensable role in governing the conduct and the behavior of the people. when it comes to religion, Indians are extremely possessive, and if anyone tries to hinder in that, they become alert or they become very active. It is pivotal to maintain some decorum while exercising this right in order to avoid any kind of future jeopardy, and therefore the state government or the central government can impose some restrictions. Now, the perception relating to religion varies from person to person. It is entirely a matter of choice and belief. The reason behind having strong faith may be that they perceive that religion adds meaning and reason to their lives. So, people who are having strong faith leave no stone unturned in showing their fidelity towards their respective religion. Now, how this right is protected under the Constitution, we have uh, four articles, Article 25 to 28 of the Indian Constitution, wherein freedom of religion is provided. In India, being a secular nation, it gives every citizen right to follow the religion he believes in. A secular state is said to be the one where there is no official religion followed. So the government has to respect every religion that a person is following. Now, every person is also entitled with his right and liberty to preach, practice, and propagate the religion of his choice. An opportunity is also provided by this right to spread his or her religion among everyone without any fear of the government intervention. So, it is ensured by our Indian Constitution that no citizen is deprived of his right to practice and profess his or her religion. So, this is what the basic freedoms we have internationally and nationally about right to freedom of religion.
Nagesh, let me share what I think about this. I feel as a professional, because I've been associated with the industry for over 27 years. I have worked in many organizations and I've also worked with variety of people. I feel that we are truly very lucky. Our founding fathers gave our constitutions to us, because in a country like India, I think this is the only country where multiple religion, multiple types of people, multiple races coexist. So at the workplace, in a true sense, you don't look at other person's religion at all. And that is because of the foundation of our country. While sometimes we keep hearing these news, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, as a layman, I feel that every citizen has a right to practice their religion, but I don't think they have a right to impose their religion on anybody else. Is that right?
Absolutely. You see, when it comes to religious practices or a religion is concerned, there is no imposition. That is how we call it a freedom. The freedom means that nobody would try to impose his or her religion. But at the same time, there are conversions being taken place in our country and in world over, which also say that a person has a right to convert himself to any other religion. Maybe, after getting a perspective of that religion, the person has a right to convert to any other religion only if at all he is convinced that he would want to profess or practice any other religion which he is comfortable with. So there are a lot of debate which is going on. There are certain restrictions, certain laws which were imposed by certain states where right to conversion was a state law which was upheld by the Honorable Supreme Court of Madhya Pradesh and Orissa. But at the same time, I believe that the Constitution, when it says right to religion, freedom of right to religion means anybody can convert it to any other religion of his choice. So that is what the Indian Constitution provides for.
And certainly, I think we are very lucky to exist in a country like India because there's so much harmony because of this particular provision given to citizens. Because at the workplace, we don't look at anybody's religion. Religion is something very personal to us. And as you mentioned that, citizens have right to practice any religion of their choice, but it remains a personal issue. It does not come and affect the work life, and I don't see there is any other country which is so liberal to its citizen about the religion, even though there are a lot of democracies around the world. And I have traveled a lot, I have lived in few countries, so I know for sure that this kind of freedom what we get in India is not available in any other country. So I think I feel very blessed and lucky to be part of this country.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. In fact, there are countries where there are no religious freedoms given to the citizens. Some countries are atheist, yet there is so much of impositions or control over this right of freedom in many countries. To name a few, we have restrictions in China, although it's an atheist country, being the Communist Party ruling the country. Then there are countries like Pakistan, of course, then Sudan, Eritrea, and North Korea, Burma. These are the countries which are not giving this freedom. Although internationally they are all the members and they have signed UDHR, and also they have been part of many treaties and conventions. So we see that in our country there is immense freedom of religion, for professing, for practicing, and celebrating. So this is very important, where the government does not, uh, kind of puts any restrictions, or rather facilitates every religion to celebrate their festivals, their religious ceremonies, etc., which also takes a lot of effort of the government, wherein the police force is provided, and a lot of measures are taken. So this is something great about India, that the government plays an active role in ensuring that people are able to practice their religion, and celebrate it. So that is the most wonderful part of this country.
Nagesh, thank you for your views. I also want to share with you that our viewers are liking our series about these legal aspects that you come on the show and talk about. There are some comments we have received also. I wanted to share with you today that people are very thankful that we have started this and they want to see more about this. And now I would like to address the viewers, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any questions, do write to us and we will try our level best to answer this along with Mr. Nagesh Sood.
Thank you very much. It is my pleasure, and I'm honored that people are liking it. And this is my kind of contribution. So it's always a pleasure being with you. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Nagesh, and we will meet again tomorrow with some other human right aspects.
Thank you. Thank you. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.